besties, my name is Cindy. Welcome back to this channel. I'm so happy to have you guys here today. And for today's video, I put a poll up on my Instagram of what videos that my followers want to see. And they said 25 books I want to read in 2025. So obviously my goal this year is 100, not 25. Last year it was 20 because I started my reading journey in July, at the end of July actually. So hopefully we'll come back to this video at the end of this year and see if I read any of these books and hold myself accountable. So yeah, let's get started. So first, starting off strong, we have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. And I've had this book on my TBR for the longest, but I'm just so scared to read it because every time somebody finishes one of her books in this series, they always cry. And it's like a hefty book. It's like 500, almost 600 page book. So I'll be starting this year for all my book besties that have been telling me to read this. Next, I have Variation by Rebecca Yarros, and everybody and their moms was reading this last year when it came out. And I had severe FOMO, and I said that I would read this at the beginning of January. I know Rebecca Yarros' writing makes everybody cry, and I don't know if I wanted to start off crying at the beginning of the year, so we'll save this, but we need to get to this though. Alright, so next we have Twisted Love by Anna Huang, and this has also been on my TBR for the longest. There's a lot of mixed reviews about the first book, but I've heard it gets better throughout the series. And she's also coming out with a show, so I need to get to this before I watch that show. So right now I'm currently reading Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, and I'm eating that book up. It's so freaking good. I love Elsie's writing style. So of course we had to read Wild Love by her. I had this book on my TBR for the longest. My sister brought me to Barnes & Noble for the Barnes & Noble challenge where you look around for 2 minutes and then you buy for 3 or something like that. So yes, I'm really excited to get into my country romance era, and Elsie Silver is the place to go. And then we also have Flawless by Elsie Silver. So I did actually read a little bit. I'm on page 26. But I soft DNF'd it because I was in a romantasy, dark romance mood. I didn't really want a country romance. And I really needed to get to this because my friend Cassie loves this series. So I need to see what the hype is about. And then we have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. My book bestie Brie, if you're watching this, she loves this series so much, so I had to pick it up and read it. And it's such a small book, so I feel between a romantasy and dark romance, I could use it as a palate cleanser. The next book I want to get into is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Pawson. I've heard this one, and also 7 Year Slip I heard is really good, so I just want to see how her writing style is, and maybe she'll be an autobi author for me. And then we have The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. She's also coming out with a show or a movie, I believe so. So many authors are coming out with adaptations. But I've had this book for so long. I said I was going to read it. Never did. Sits on my shelf collecting dust. So I really need to get to this. And then we have The Frozen River by Ariel Lawson. And my book bestie Brie again. She loved this book, so I had to pick it up. I still have not read it, but this will be the year. I promise, Brie, if you're watching, I'll read this and update you on it. And then we have Murder Your Employer by Rupert Holmes. And I honestly don't know what this is about. It just looks really interesting. I like to go into books very blindly. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this catches my attention. Next, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And I cannot wait to read this series. I feel me standing it on my bookshelf, look at this. That's a little scary. I am getting the hardbacks. I'm gonna put the dust jackets over them, so these can just sit like this. But don't come at me, book girlies. I swear I take care of my books. But I've heard this book is so good. This series is good in general. I believe you're supposed to read it after the Carvel series. But yes, really excited for this one. Exodus by Kate Stewart, and this is the Ravenhood series. I've seen everybody and their mom reading this, and I really just want to see what the hype is about. So I have the whole series. If you watched my last video, you would know I buy the whole series before reading the first. So this one is going to be a good one. Next, we have Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. And I feel like every dark romance girly loves this book or has read it. My book bestie Janelle, she read it and loved it. And she said she couldn't stop thinking about it. So I think I need to jump on that bandwagon. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Yes, I know I'm a little late, but I hate not having like the series, like the whole series in my hand in case I just want to jump to the next book, if you know what I'm saying. So I know Onyx Storm literally comes out tomorrow because I'm filming this on Monday, but I will be grabbing that book and then I will be starting the Empyrean series. Next, we got Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. And I saw this book all over TikTok when everybody was when everybody was receiving their PR, and it just looked stunning. Like stunning. And it says, "I'm just a girl, and as it turns out, I'm Hercules." Sold. And the character art, yes please, but I'm really excited for this one. Next is the Carvel series by Stephanie Garber. I don't know if you can tell, but this year is basically like series. Like I want to get all the series I have on my bookshelf, like at least read the first book, but hopefully the whole series. But I'm really excited for Carvel because then I can hop into Once Upon a Broken Heart. So really excited for this one. And the cover, stunning. It is the Zodiac Academy series by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I'm so sorry if I just butchered that, but they just come out, I cannot speak today. They just came out with new covers for the whole series, and the font is kind of big, so I feel like I'll like fly through this really fast, but I just want to see what the hype is about Zodiac Academy. Next, we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and Hannah Pham actually read this on one of her vlogs, and she loved it, so I obviously had to grab it. And the character art is just so beautiful. I love when they put character art in paperbacks. Okay, so I know everybody was reading the series when it first came out and when Skyshade came out. So it is A Light Lark by Alex Astor. I think I'm just waiting to read this series because I'm waiting for Skyshade to come out in paperback, because I love like holding a paperback, also reading it on my iPad or Kindle. But maybe I'll read Light Lark and Nightbane and then wait for Skyshade. So yeah, I think I need to get into this. So next I have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is a Never After series, and it's basically a bunch of like our princesses and fairy tales as a kid, basically put into like a dark romance aspect. That makes sense. And I've heard Emily McIntyre writes really good books, so I'm really excited to dive into her world. Her Soul to Take. This is a Souls trilogy by Harley Laroux. Sorry if I butchered that. But I've been in such like a dark romance like mood lately, so I think this one's gonna be good, and I heard it's a really good dark romance, so yeah. And then going on our dark romance journey, we have God of Malice, and I'm so excited that they did the reprints. The covers are okay. I prefer the old covers, but I love sprayed edges. Like I'm a sprayed edge girly. And I've heard Rena Kent writes really good dark romances. And I've heard the Legacy of God series is really good. So can't wait to let you guys know how I feel about it. Next, we have Legend Born by Tracy Deonn. And I just saw someone read this and it looked really good. Like their reactions throughout the whole thing. It looked good, so I had to pick it up myself. And the third book, I think it's like Legend Marked? No, Blood Marked is up there. The third book comes out this year, so I need to get into this now. And then, of course, everybody's fan favorite, The Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. And I think the reason why I haven't read this is because the font, small, so tiny. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I take my glasses off while reading, but this I might need to keep on because it just hurt my head a lot. But I'm just happy that they came out with, what was it? Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. That literally took me like a minute. In paperback, so I'm just waiting for the other ones to come out in paperback, but I really need to start this book. And then last but not least, we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. And everybody loves this. My book bestie, Mandy, she loved this series. Everybody loves this duology. So I really just need to get to this. So if you made it to the end of this video, please like, comment, or subscribe. And if you want to comment any videos that you want to see in the future, please do. But also if any of the books I've shown or any of the ones that you see on my bookshelf is your kind of vibe, you found the right place. But that is it for today. I am so excited to start my content creating journey and read more books. But yeah, love ya.